Hello and welcome to the Dutchin channel. It's Friday the 12th of April 2024. It's just gone 8:45 in the morning and we're going to do the selections for Fakenham today with a little bit of a difference. But just to let you know, didn't feel too great last night. So I've uploaded the results show from yesterday. That's put on there. We did have another nice little win yesterday. So we're only 4.6 units down now from getting back to level, which is not bad because we've had some serious losses when we haven't won, but when we've won, we haven't won too much. So it's taken us a bit longer to get back to where I want to. So what we're going to do today at Fakenham, well, I've changed it a little bit in that we've been doing too many short prices, and the short prices are costing us money. So when I look back from when I started on here on the 6th of March, I've sort of gone back and had a look at most of them. And yeah, of course, the short price favourites win, we know they do. But if you see the returns on the averages, it's normally 1 in 3 favourites win. So you think to yourself, well, if 1 in 3 favourites are winning and 2 are not winning, then stop doing them. That's the answer. So we'll get into this Fakenham card. Just to let you know, if you're interested in Aintree, I have put Aintree up today with the value bets. It takes a bit longer to do the video. It's a bit more boring, but it's easier to understand, and you just bet them singly. You're not going from the Dutchin where you're going down 1, 2 or 3 selections and you've only got a certain amount left to put on to get 50 back, because I was getting too many of them last selection ones coming that weren't profiting enough. So when I look into this a bit more deeper, then I think, well, hold on a minute, if I'm getting like half my money back on that one and then I'm losing on a 2-1 on favourite, you may as well just tweak it a bit and do something completely different that should benefit us all. So we're going to start with Fakenham. It would have been Leicester next, but Leicester's been abandoned today, so this is why we've moved quickly on to Fakenham. Right, so the first race there today will be the 158 where 9 go to post. I haven't checked this meeting to see if there's any non-runners, so we may as well just go through this quickly. No, and I've only got a small card there today anyway. So let's go into Matchbook. We're going to leave it on the Fakenham page, starting with the 158. Now the difference of what you're going to see now to what you would have done is that there will be a price come up for each horse that we need to use. So we'll start with the top selection, well, their top selection, not mine. Yala Habibi is 1.99. So you'll see straight away the first race has a short price favourite, and I think maybe at best it should come third. But of course, when you don't back them, they win. But I make it 14.51 in the betting. Right, now look at this column here which I've got. This is the my SPs. Means nothing at all with what's going on in the industry. Sometimes I can get lucky. So because this price here is a lot shorter than we think it should be, we're not going to back it. All right, so where we would need to put all 50 on that if it was our top selection, is exactly what I'm saying. I don't want to put all £50 on one selection and you don't get a run for your money. I've seen too many of them. Then Big Cheese is 5.1. Now you'll also see here that I've got 9.12. So that isn't a value bet either. These prices on the Betfair SP, even though we're using Matchbook, need to be bigger than what I estimate them for that to be a value bet. And that's because I've got a horse here that I think that should be odds on anyway. That's why the price is unrealistic. Then we've got Diamond Coda at 5.2. And you can see there as I put the 5.2 in, 17.38 I estimate. So again, it's a no bet. Then we've got Mozza Legend. This is 160. But this is bigger than my 39. So this becomes a bet. And you go, John, what you're doing there is stupid. 160 to one shots don't come in. They do, but not very many of them. But remember, you're putting stake on to get £100 back. So if you are backing something at 160, it's only costing you 63 pence. Don't forget, if you are doing it on Betfair, it's £1 minimum, but every other site you go on are 10p's. All right, so you're only putting 63 pence on. So to get £100 back, do it and forget it. It's not worth leaving it out because I see too much of this. Then we got Get a Superstar. That is 16. So that's 16. I make it 17. So at the moment, it isn't a bet. But as you get closer to the race, they may back some of these outsiders or they might drift. So you can end up with different selections later on than you can now. So remember that as well. Then we've got Motazen at 55. Now, this is my favourite and odds on at that. So that becomes a value bet because my price is bigger, Betfair's price is bigger, or Matchbook in this case, than what mine is. But that's all it means. It doesn't mean, oh, John, look, you've got that 8 to 11 there, it must be a certainty. Forget all that. £1.82 is the stake. Then we've got Saint Vic 44. And Saint Vic at 44. I make it 27. So again, that is a value bet. And Juventile is 280. This is my outsider, but only 44. So that will be a bet as well. But remember, you're only 36 pence on that one. And the last selection we're going to look at is Sister Julienne at 40. And I've got this at 26, so that's going to be a bet as well. But you can see at the bottom, all we're going to lay out in this race is £7.57. So if the odds-on favourite gets beat, doesn't really matter to us, right? Because it's only a small outlay, whereas we were laying out £50 per race. It will get to that, but some races can fall in your favour. You'll still get 100 back if you were to win it. So what I'm going to do here to show you next, I think we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not sure if we've only got 5 selections at Fakenham. Yeah. So we will also put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down here. And this is going to show you how much money we're going to stake if you was to just put them all on right this minute. And then it would tell us at the bottom after this how much we would need to win, how many races we would need to win to show a profit. So we'll move on to the second race. Unfortunately, when you look at my entry video, there's some 20 plus horses in about 2 or 3 races, so the video took a lot longer to do. Right, so into the 233 at Fakenham. Ingenio 3.65. I've got Ingenio at 5.56. So this isn't value, but it is a very close race, this one. I mean, I've got the favourite at 4.31 and the outsider at 5.9. So it's very, very close. Do no wrong, 4.8. And 4.8, this is our number 1 selection. I think it should be 4.31. This is bigger. This is a bet. And then we move into scene 1. This is 4.1. This is my second selection, but I make it higher than that. Not much, but 4.62. So this would not be a bet. But of course, when you're doing the selections that I was doing, you would have backed that. And already now you'd have been nearly on your £50 stake, finished. So you're better to either let it go and lose one that you would have won, because you'll pick it up somewhere else. Jack's Touch, 6.4. We give that to come third, but it is a value bet because we make it 4.93. So that's in our favour. And the last one we got, Jigginstown King, is 7.2. And our price here is 5.9. So this is a value bet as well. So we've got 3 running for us in 5 runners. But the stake this time is a little bit more than we would normally lay out. This is £50 and 35 pence. And this gets to your choice as well. You know, if we lay out one where it tells us to lay out £75, you think, well, what's the point? Yeah, maybe you're right. And then you just don't bet in that race. So then that's up to you. You look at this one here and you think, I'm slightly over that 50. Do I bet on it? Well, let's see what the totals come to at the bottom first. So that's 2 races out of 5. Now we're going to move into the 308 at Fakenham. And Cloudy Wednesday is the short price there at 2.76. And although I've got it as number 1 selection, you know, I go, yeah, possibly we'll win. I think it's more open than that. I think it should be 4.18. So I won't be betting on it. Yeah, of course, you know, it goes through and wins the race, we lose. That's part of life. Then we've got Arabiscato, which is 5.5. I've got this as my outsider, so I wouldn't be betting on it anyway. And I make it 10.6. So that would be another selection there that I would not be betting on. Then we got Saint Jaguin, which is 6.6. I've given this third in at the moment. I make it bigger than that price at 7.38, so this also will be a no bet. Then we've got Calnu at 18. Now Calnu, I've got 4th in at the moment, and I make this 8.04. They're offering me 18. That's a value bet. Then we've got Clara Rose at 10.5. And Clara Rose, I've got currently at 9.58, so slightly a profit on that one. So we would take that price. Celtic or Celtic Fortune, 9.4. I make it 8.09, so there's value in that, so that will be a bet as well. And the last one is Tip Top Tonto at 11.5. This is my second selection, and I make it 5.6, which is basically half of that. So now we're going to bet 4 against the field here, just by leaving Cloudy Wednesday out. Yeah, that would have taken this one, and Tip Top Tonto would have took all my money. But of course, yeah, we know it can win, but we want to try and simplify it a little bit and give us more chance in every race, not just one race. So 34.41. And you can see if we were betting in 3 normal races, we would have laid out £150. But now we've laid out £92.33, and effectively all we need to win is 1 race to get in profit. So that is our third race, and I'm not saying we're going to win any, but it makes it, you know, that we can win 1 in 3 to get level. We don't have to win 2 in 4 to get level. So we'll go into the next race at Fakenham, which will be the 343. And we'll sit with Shanghai Enki. This is 395. It is my second selection. And I've got 458. Bit more open race again I've got. So there would be a no bet on that. Of course, unless you're doing this closer to the time, the price could have drifted out and therefore you're backing it. Chatty Chick is 5.1. And you'll see there that the price that I estimate is 8.65. So this will be another race where I go, no, it's not big enough. The Wise Traveller is 7. This is my top selection. And I think it should be 4.46. So for me, that will be a bet. The Bold Thady is 4.8. And the Bold Thady I've got third in. But I've got this at 4.94. So as it stands, it's a no bet, but it's not going to take much for that to drift to 4.94 from as 480. It's not going to take long. I mean, sometimes you can go on there, just look again, and it could have gone to 5. And straight away, that's your value. Then we've got Game Socks. This is 9.6. And we've got 1109, so again, this isn't a value bet. Then we look at Honey I'm Good at 19. I've got 14, so that becomes a bet. That is a value bet because this side is bigger than the left. And Sadie Hill is currently 14. We make it 12.83, so that's going to be a bet. So you can see at the moment, I think this one will be included. The Bold Thady, because it's 4.94 with me, 4.80. Someone's going to offer you that. But again, I wouldn't be doing these bets till 5-10 minutes before the off. So now in that race, if it stayed as it is, we're only laying out £26.69. So again, your £50 stakes is now come to 120 in 4 races, which is £30 a bet instead of £50 a bet. And this will be our last bet at Fakenham. Again, there's only 5 runners here. And this is why you can't bet on races where they've either been running in point-to-points or haven't seen a race course, because you won't be able to make your prices. So the top selection here, El Muchacho, which is 2.9. I've given it to come second, and I think it should be 5.55, so no value for me. The second selection, Coast Guard Station, 3.8. That is our top selection. And 2.25 is RSP, so we think that's going to be 5-4. So yeah, that would be a bet for us. Then Avils, which is 4.3. This is our outsider, and we think that's going to be 10.17. So no value for this. Then Templier is 8.4, and I've got that in at 6.23, so that becomes a bet. And Libby, that's currently 18.5. I've got this at 8.62, so that's another value bet for me in that one. So we've got 3 against 2, and the stakes here 43.63. So just before I go through them all again, You can see that the stakes at the end of the day here are going to be 162.65 if I was to put them all on now. And you go, well, hold on a minute. How much is that a bet? You're talking 35, less than £35, or more, less than that, aren't you? £32 is 160. So maybe maximum £33 a bet instead of your 50. So at the end of the day, you just need 2 wins out of those 5 races to make a profit. Whereas the other way around, we would have had to have won 3 races to have got in front. So it just makes a bit of difference, that, because the favourites aren't going to win every race, but of course in a short period they can. So starting on the 158 at Fakenham, we've gone for Motazen, Sister Julienne, Saint Vic, Mopsa Legend, and Juventile. So that will be the 5 in race 1. Then in the 233, we've got Do No Wrong, Jack's Touch, Jigginstown King. Then in the 308, we've got Tip Top Tonto, Calnu, Celtic Fortune, Clara Rose. Then the 343, The Wise Traveller, Sadie Hill, Honey I'm Good. And in the 418, you've got Coast Guard Station, Templier, and Libby. So that is Fakenham done. I'm going to do Southall after this, which will be the last meeting for today. So I hope everyone can get some winners this afternoon, and maybe it's time now we will change, instead of backing some of these short ones, and look for a bit of value. Enjoy your day.